How would you like to go from living in the ghetto of the South Bronx as a hoodlum to living in the suburbs of Texas? Or better yet, how would you like to go from living as your everyday middle-class citizen to living as Nigerian royalty in West Africa? How do you like to have power at your fingertips and live life carefree and spoiled? Today's guest will talk about a rare rags to riches experience which she encountered growing up almost clueless of her true identity. The Humanities Mass Communications Department at Norwalk Community College presents The New Directors, the show that introduces you to television's future writers, directors, and personalities. And now join our host, Nelson Oliveira, to meet the next new director.
Thank you for joining us for today's edition of The New Directors. All the people involved with this program are students in the television production course and are directing, switching, controlling audio, operating cameras, and acting as talent for the first time today. Our guest is someone who grew up almost clueless of her true identity in a rare rags to riches experience, going from living in a hoodlum in the ghetto of South Bronx to the suburbs of Texas and then living in West Africa. We would like you to meet today's guest, Precious Asouzu.
Hi.
Hello. So we know that you have a rare rags to riches life story in which you came up from South Bronx and ended up in West Africa. Can you please tell us how that came to be?
Yes, I initially grew up in the South Bronx. I was born in Manhattan, and it was pretty rough, you know? We had crackheads around, drug dealers, the cops came constantly.
Wow.
But, you know, my mother taught us well, and in order to stay out of trouble, she helped us to do things like modeling and acting. And I'm not gonna lie, I was spoiled when I was little, but not spoiled to like the point where I can get anything and everything I wanted. Okay. I was very close to my brother, and you know, we had things though, like in South Bronx, like the ghetto Halloween. It was pretty funny, but good times. So, like I was saying, you know, I did some modeling, I did pageants and any type of competition that would keep me out of trouble. I thought maybe I would be a model and that would pretty much get me out of the ghetto. But at a certain age, I found out that I was rich, and it was crazy, you know? One minute I'm living in the Bronx, next minute I'm in Nigeria, seeing my dad, a big businessman, and my mom dressing all Nigerian-like and everything. And then we had a big house with so many floors, and I actually had my own floor. I was just astonished, like I was surprised, I'm not even gonna lie, you know? Just anything. But then because of who I was, I had to start doing more. I had to start accomplishing more in life and getting the top grades and getting awards and everything like that. It was pretty crazy, but fun. It's life, you know?
That is crazy. And why did you decide to take the TV production course?
My major is actually mass media, I guess you could say media studies, and I love cameras. I love anything that has to do with the media. So I wanted to learn the basics of how to work the camera, what really goes on behind the scenes, so I could be more versatile in everything.
Right. And what were some of the most useful things you learned in this course?
According to my professor Stoney, he actually says that we learn more of the basics in community college like NCC rather than what we learn at a four-year university. So I thought it was pretty cool, you know? We learn more of the details of how to film things and what really goes on behind the scenes, which is what I was looking for. If I wanted to know how to work in the control room, which I'm not gonna lie, I really didn't know that there were all those features and everything.
Right.
But now I know how to learn more, like I know how to work the teleprompter, I know how to do audio, I know how to work the cameras. I know that, you know, there's certain things a host does that a guest doesn't do and how the show works. We learn the parts of film, you know, there are certain lines, certain details that express emotion and grace when you work with film, and I think that's pretty cool.
Right. Okay, we're gonna see some of these projects.
Okay.
Can you tell us about them?
Yes. The first project I worked on in my early stage of TV production was Guns and Hoses. It was kind of my flyby project because you didn't have to film it. We did more of like editing as far as it goes. We took different clips and we put them together to create what seemed like a policeman, a firefighter going to fight. It was a short film. My next project that I did was my props project. I worked with my partner Adam on this, and he was very lovely in it. I had to learn how to grasp what I guess you could say the character was doing,
right,
in which we had to focus on the props and look through the eyes of the character.
Okay.
My next project was my fall foliage project. I love this. I actually filmed it at my current residence area, I guess you can say, Norwalk. And I had my mother star in it and everything. I caught a few clips, and it was pretty cold, so it was a challenge, but it was pretty interesting getting to see how the different aspects of film work here and how I could actually create this without big expensive projects. My next film was my orange project, which I had my friend Angie in. We had to create a scene where the orange disappeared, so I put some clips together so it would disappear from one area and show up in another. And I thought that was pretty cool. I actually liked this project, I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty interesting.
Okay, but which one of those do you feel was your best one? Which one was your favorite?
My favorite project was definitely the fall foliage project, because I'm not gonna lie, it was easy. It was, well, not easy, but it was easier than any other project. I was able to create certain scenes where, there was like a church building and everything, and the lines create emotions, and the colors of the trees, we had to do zooming in and zooms out.
Right.
And create like a frame where you have to have, like, for example, a tree showing something, like covering over, so we can see what the product is, like zoom in, and we had elevations for like converging. That wasn't really easy, and I did some horizontal lines using trees. I used the church to focus for simplicity a bit, but kind of using the rule of thirds, which I actually just learned how to do this semester. I try to capture different colors in trees and basically the beauty of fall, because it's not really my favorite, season, but honestly, it's beautiful still. It's beautiful.
That is a beautiful video.
Thank you.
What would you like to create next?
Next, I definitely want to go big. If I could produce a movie, I definitely would. I love series books such as Harry Potter and stuff, so I'm thinking about maybe choosing a book that I like, such as the Twin Valley Girls, and getting someone to, invest in me so I can create films and kind of, dip my feet in the water, get them wet, and just experience some things.
Okay. All right. Today we got to meet someone who went to being a South Bronx hoodlum to Nigerian royalty, and gained power at her fingertips in a rare rags to riches life story. We would like to thank Precious for joining us today.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed meeting one of television's future directors, and we hope you will continue to join us each week to watch our progress. Thank you and good day.
This has been The New Directors with your host, Nelson Oliveira. Directed by Frankie Famous. I'm your announcer, Matias Napoli. The New Directors is a Norwalk Community College student production.